Center for Social Justice and your delegation from Abuja, members of the entourage that are based here in Yola, in Adamawa State, you are welcome. Let me, on behalf of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Adamawa State, the ATM Governor, and our SRHR Governor, thank you sincerely for this visit. His Excellency would have granted you audience in view of the very important subject of protecting women and the girl child, as well as all society from all forms of violence, which is a trendy topic. And in Adamawa State, we know we are not quite free, from such harmful practices, but a lot of efforts, are on the table to ensure that we fight against it. And the First Lady of the state, the wife of His Excellency, is at the forefront, of this fight to ensure that not all gender issues, but particularly the girl child and the young children are allowed to go to school. It is even on our jingles on the radio, every now and again, where you hear her come up and try to educate parents to allow their children, and most especially the girl child, to come to school. And I have listened carefully, to the lead director, whom incidentally, when you came in with him, I never knew he was the person because of the mask. So it was when he came to speak and he drew down the mask, and from his voice, I was able to recollect that this is not our first time of meeting. We have been meeting at the media, in particular the NTA. When I was a lecturer at Nasarawa State University, Kefi, I know we've met on several, Good Morning Nigeria programs, with him. So I take this opportunity once again to welcome you, and this is my new call of duty. My governor asked me to leave the ivory tower and come and assist him here as Chief of Staff. Hence, this is why I'm here. And also, being a lawyer by profession, I want to liken myself with the fact that this effort by your NGO, this advocacy in coming out to go around the states to try and educate states on the need for stamping out all forms of violence. It's something that resonates, with me, because I know the danger, that each society faces if you don't allow such opportunities for the younger ones to freely get educated and come out to give their best, in the society. The society will not go. And I was happy you mentioned, how even in Nigeria, our women are being given opportunities internationally. And if we had not given them opportunities from their childhood for them to get this education, they wouldn't have been found worthy of these very challenging offices that you can imagine in the whole world, the whole blocks coming together to give our women votes for them to hold such challenging offices. The only cherry news I have, for Advocacy Visit is the fact that as we speak, plans and arrangements are on the way for our governor to be awarded the prestigious award of the best governor of the year in education development by a very popular newspaper known as Business Day. Business Day on Thursday are going to confer on His Excellency this very award of the best governor of the year in education development, education sector. Because as you may wish to know, and like I even told you about the access to universal basic education. On coming into office, His Excellency what he first did was to pronounce free and compulsory education at all levels, both boys and girls, at equal levels in the state. So as we speak, no parent is expected to pay a dime as far as the education. In fact, it's even compulsory. If a parent refuses to allow his or her child or ward to go to school, is an offense, and such a parent will be punished. Secondly, when the children come to school, as far as they are feeding, the free feeding that some of us enjoyed in our early days in our primary and secondary schools have been reintroduced into the state. As we speak, all our schools are being fed by the government. No parent is expected to put any dime into coffers of government as far as schools, as far as the feeding of schools are concerned. Furthermore, as we speak, there are about 5,000 primary and secondary schools undergoing renovation all over the state. And the children are also not, or parents are also not allowed to pay for the WAWG and NECO fee of their children. So long as your child has reached that level of the SSC and they're about to write under the NECO or WAWG, government picks up the bill, has been picking up the bill. And it's cheering news too that over 80% of our students that went in for the WAWG and NECO passed with more than 5 credits, which is something worthy of commendation. So, and lastly, when you look at also the scholarships, in our days, many of us enjoyed what we call university scholarships. This has been revived. It was stopped for over 2 decades. But as we speak, the scholarship has been revived and students are being paid with the scholarships. And the state government also sponsored about 60 students to India on scholarship to go and read computer studies. And there are plans now on the way to also send 21 students to go and read and become pilots. In other words, we have 21 local governments. We're starting with one each from the 21 local governments, including both boys and girls, to go outside in the US and go and study to become pilots at the end of the day on government scholarship, on government coffers. So the state government is on its oars to make sure that it makes education back, it brings education to the front burner and takes it back to those good old days when the state produced very brainy and very cerebral individuals such as Professor Iya Abubakar, Professor Saad Abubakar, Professor Jibril Laminu, Professor Ale Deno, etc. So Adamawa, even when it was under Gongola, had been a state that had been well known as far as education is concerned. And it was because most governments, especially the early days, never took education for a ride. And it is for this reason that His Excellency said we would want to revamp or revive, that position. And it is no wonder, therefore, that the Business Day newspaper, upon looking at these travels and all these areas of success that the government has achieved as far as education is concerned, it now decided to give him that award of the best governor of the year in the